Hey folks, what a view behind me. I'm at Blackbull Markets headquarters here in Auckland, New Zealand. Speaking of views, you can get TradingView paid plans for free at Blackbull Markets, saving you up to $600 a year. Get either the Essential Plus or Premium plans absolutely free, or you can also get a 100% deposit bonus for your first deposit up to $1,000. All you need to do is click the Trading Nut link in the description below. Our sponsor Blue Guardian is the only prop firm that gives their traders a tool to protect them from hitting their max daily loss and over trading. It's super simple to use. Just set the Guardian Protector each day from your dashboard. Did you also know that they've just released an unlimited time evaluation with a 0 trading days requirement, giving you plenty of time to hit their low 8 and 4% targets, making it super fast to get funded. Plus, it's cheaper than the 40-day time limit evaluation. Check out the link and coupon in the description to get 10% off your next Blue Guardian evaluation.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Brinks Trades again, coming live with the Trading Nut Podcast Indices edition. How's everybody doing today? It's been a second. How's everybody's trading week? You know, where's everybody calling in from? Same thing as usual. So, yeah, while I'm getting everything pulled up, let's go ahead and, see who's online. All the way from Botswana. Shout out to Botswana, man. We getting a lot of people from overseas, man. A lot of people from overseas. Cool. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. If you guys know me by now, I am the resident indices analyst for the Trading Nut, podcast, and basically, I come on every week and do the indice breakdowns for US500, which is the S&P, Dow Jones, which is US30, and the NASDAQ, which is NAS100. So, again, I want to start with the overarching dollar analysis. Again, the reason that we start here is because we want to get a better understanding of what's going on in the overarching dollar. And if we understand that, we understand the dollar's king, we know that we can go ahead and make the analysis to apply to the rest of the indices. So again, starting with dollar, just real quick. Again, we drop down into this old fair value gap here, and then again, we want to see things continue to go higher. So really the last couple of weeks, this pretty much candle here was entirely NFP. And we know the NFP is going to be a huge news driver for not just Forex, but just pretty much every market, right? It's non-farm payroll. So it's a big indicator of economic growth and the overall health of a market. So again, we drop down here, respected not only this order block, but consequent encroachment of this weekly fair value gap here, right? And so we're looking pretty bullish. We want to see this continue on to go higher. And this is something that I've been calling out for the past few weeks, not just 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And sometimes it doesn't play out as quickly as you'd like it to see. So I am also watching this overall line right here. So just to see if we get a break below this trend line. There could be some reasons for that, but overarching, respecting this order block, right, pretty much down to the pip. Yeah, respecting this order block cleanly. It's kind of letting us know that we're going to be bullish, moving forward on dollar. So if you're trading like Euro, if you're trading like GBP USD, you're gonna probably want to continue to see bearishness, right? But that's not why you're here. You're here for the indices. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna mix things up today. I always go NASDAQ first. I'm gonna go NASDAQ last. So let's start with US30, right? Oops, you guys can't see my screen. Why can't you see my screen? Let me see. Okay, cool. I think you guys should be able to see my screen now. Yep, cool. All right, cool. Let me do that again so you guys can see this. So again, overarching dollar analysis here. If you jump to the daily time frame, oops, not here. This one right here. So overarching analysis on daily and the dollar time frame. Again, we want to see this continue to go higher, right? So this is something we've been calling out over the past few weeks. And so again, we came down to this weekly time frame. You know, I always start on the weekly time frame because I want to get a better understanding of where I think dollar's heading. So again, we came up and tapped this old imbalance here. We respected this order block. So really coming down here, and we've been calling this out again for the past 1, 2, 3, 4-ish weeks that the price is going to drop into here. And again, sometimes it's hard to see where it's going to turn around. It could turn around as soon as it hits these angles, or it could turn around a deeper run. And that's exactly what we got. We respect these levels. There at 103.73, came down and touched the consequent encroachment of that imbalance pretty much perfectly. So I want to continue to see this thing continue to rise and go higher. I'm going to be looking here. Obviously, it's the long-term target up here, but short-term targets I'm going to be looking over the next week are, get rid of that. This high here at 105.5 or 0.12. And then the secondary to take profit here at or take profit key level. I'm not trading these, so technically these aren't take profits at 106.37. So I want to see if the market respects both those levels and reacts to those levels to see how, you know, we're going to flow on the way to our overarching target, which we've had for a few weeks now. I mean, pretty much since April. This is our overarching kind of like quarterly target. So I'm bullish. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna start with US30. I'm gonna do things a little bit differently here. And so if we look at the weekly time frame, last week we came to the terminal and we wanted to see the market really take out this high. That's kind of, oops. Sorry, if I go to the daily time frame. Last week we wanted to see the market really continue to run for this high. I did make the call out last week that I believe that, you know, this is kind of overarching consolidation on US30. So if you are a US30 trader, like we could see the market range, and it just didn't look amazing for a key setup, even though this is our overall target. So I actually said, I don't want to see anybody trade this. And really, we haven't moved. We really haven't moved enough in the past week to really, for me to call any kind of direction on this. Ideally, I do want to see this go higher. Like my bias is for this to go higher, but just this consolidated state, I would not be surprised if we did a drop below here. If we pulled back like this, oops. If we pulled back into this range here before we went up. Right now, again, US30, I'm staying away from it because I can call both sides of the trade. And if I can call both sides of the trade, like I can make a case for buying or selling, then I don't want to participate in that. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, let's go ahead and go to NMQ, which is going to be the futures version of NAS100. It's the same thing, right? Or any of these are NASDAQ. So let's go to NQ. And so last week, actually, my markers at NAS100, NQ. Where's my markers? That's weird. Okay, well, whatever. I guess I must erase my charts on accident. So if we go back last week, what we wanted to see, and you guys can go back and watch the recording, is we're clearly in a bullish bias, right? We know that the overarching goal and responsibility for the NASDAQ as an investment vehicle. It's supposed to rise over time, right? They always say if you put your money in the market over time, over years, it wins. So last week we came to the terminal and there was a couple of things that I called out. I wanted to see a few levels respected on the way to bullishness. There it goes. There's my markers. Okay. So I wanted to see a few levels respected. And actually, if I go back, I think maybe to this one now. Yep, there we go. We had a weekly target. Our weekly target was, sorry, these are notes for my students. If you guys can't tell, I actually really trade. I'm not just somebody that sells a course or does anything like that. Like I actually do this every day. So if I'm getting rid of all of this, you guys can see. Last week we made a couple call outs. The first thing was we had a level here that we wanted to see respected in this overarching fair value gap here. And so I wanted to be bullish. And if we go back in the timeline 1 week, right? We wanted to be bullish and we wanted to see this level respected in addition to this particular candle note right there. So I'm gonna make this, just make this yellow, right? So there's a couple levels here that I wanted to see respected. And so that's exactly what we got. So Monday, throughout the week, we saw a drop down back into this old fair value gap. And then really on the way to our all-time target, our all-time high, which was this target here. And so if we kind of watch and see how the market played out over the past week, that's exactly what we got. This level here was respected on the low, and then we eventually took this out, right? And so going into this next week, again, I want to see the same thing respected. So our new all-time high is this level here. And this is kind of boring trading. I mean, as far as the analysis goes. So there's not really a whole lot you can really do except project highs. And so this is kind of like our all-time high situation that we've had, over the past few months, really just when we're in an all-time high situation, the only thing we can really do is project to those new highs. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I want to see the market do something like this. Let me get rid of this here. These lines. I'm just going to clear up my chart entirely. Actually, that day is today. Okay. So in the daily time frame, what I want to see here is this market respected. There's a couple levels that I'm looking at. Ideally, I want to see the market dip back into here and really come and take out the high. Now, this is not a very high run at all. I mean, this is like 300, 400 points. So we'll see what happens. Actually, it's less than that. It's like, yeah, it's about 400 points from this level here at 1870, 714 to the high. It's about 400. So there could be some good setups in there. Also, we'll be looking at this low here to see if we get an extended run below this. We could see something as deep as this. Ideally, I'll be looking here. And then another level that I'll have noted out here is this overarching imbalance here. So this is kind of like my playground, I guess, or the areas that I'm looking at for the next week. But ideally, I'm bullish, and my target here is this. So my new weekly target is going to be this high. So ideally, I want to see the market continue to run higher from that. So let me go to the comments section really quickly and see if there's any comments. The real F flip god. I don't know which pair you're talking about. I don't know if you're talking about dollar, if you're talking about NASDAQ. We need a third touch for trendline traders. Yeah, flip God. I don't know what you're talking about as far as NASDAQ or if you're talking about dollar. But Skipple said, "Do I just trade indices? I only trade indices. Really, they just move faster for me. I like them better than Forex. I mean, I personally think they're the safer market in terms of like setups that I like to see. So I traded when I first came into the game. I was a huge Forex trader, and I traded that market. What I teach my students specifically is like how to read price in any market. And so a lot of these same principles will apply to that as well. But yeah, but I only primarily trade NASDAQ and honestly NASDAQ is the only indice that I really trade. I really don't trade US30 that often, but it is every once in a while I'll trade it. So yeah, so I don't really trade anything else. So if we go back to that is what I'm looking for NASDAQ. Again, not that far of a run. It's not that big of a play. Well, be looking to see what happens at the beginning of this week. That's ideally what I want to see happen. US30, same thing. I mean, we pretty much took out our all-time high, which is this high here last week. Yeah. So if I back this up, actually, if I go to US500, there we go. So again, our all-time high was this target. Now this is slightly different than the ES1. Usually the futures version and well, they're about the same. So let me go ahead and clear this off so you guys can see. But last week we wanted to see the market really take out that all-time high. That's what we were gunning for. That's what we were aiming for. That's what we got. Right. So I'm going to go ahead and clear the board. And so this week I'm looking at this again, same setup. Again, we know these indices are very similar, right? So we want to see the markets really do the same thing on these over time. So came down respect to consequent encroachment. I would not be surprised if we get a very shallow run, maybe one more time in this range, and then take out that all-time high, 5,384. I'm also going to have kind of this, there's a couple levels that I'm noting out here. This is going to be more of like, actually, this is going to be, I'm going to be looking at this zone here for this order block as kind of like my fail-safe level. If we take out this low, then I'm most likely going to transition to a downtrend. But what I mean by fail-safe is if this level is taken out, my bullishness idea is no longer valid. So this is going to be my sell side here. So I'll mark that out. And then, yeah, so I'm really looking for this to happen over the next week. But ideally, I want to see the market continue to take out this high here. So I'll be aiming here. This could be a very short, shallow week, and maybe there'll be an update midway through next week. But ideally, I want to see this market respect that level, continue to go higher. So Kennedy said 4 hours a lot more clear. Is it? I mean, I think the daily is pretty clear. I think they're both clear. I don't know if you're talking about NASDAQ or that. I mean, to be honest, they're both pretty clear. So I don't know which one you're talking about. When you guys make a comment, since I'm running through these pretty quickly, if you guys just give me a comment and tell me like, hey, I'm talking about NASDAQ, or hey, I'm talking about like S&P, that's gonna help me a lot because again, these comments come in a little bit delayed. So Hackers already said, why are you on a higher time frame? Because you get your bias from your higher time frames. If you don't know what's going on in the higher time frames, you're not going to know what's going to go on the lower time frames. You have a better chance of figuring out what the overall trend is by looking at your higher time frames. So I don't trade on these time frames, and I guess I want to make that clear. Like, I don't trade on these higher time frames. I have a series of things that I'm looking for when I go down into smaller time frames for executions. So I don't take trades in these higher time frames at all. But it does tell me where I think the price is going to go for the week, and then I just kind of work within that for my smaller time frames. Why not trade gold as well? Everybody, I don't know why. What's the obsession with gold? Like, it seems like everybody comes on here and it's like, I gotta trade gold. I gotta trade gold. I guess my question is, why do you trade gold, right? So, like, um, why gold? I guess for everybody, that because I get this question like once a week, and it's cool. I don't mind it, but I guess everybody's like, why obsessed with gold? Like, why don't you trade gold? And I guess what's so special about gold that makes you want to trade it? To me, it's like I just want to find charts that have repeatable actions over and over and over again, and I look for the same things in price action, right? So I don't really care about what the index is or what the pair is, but I will say that gold overall is it is an event driven market. So it reacts highly to specific times of the year, certain events. Right now, where there's a lot of like things on the table as far as like geopolitical stuff going on. We're about to go into a presidential year. There's a couple, conflicts, in different countries. Um, so you're seeing a lot of volatility on gold right now because that's what happens um, when people fear, like, they're not sure what's going to go on in the world, they invest in gold. So you're seeing the price of gold get driven up. But I guess normally, like, it's not usually like this. And sometimes it can be a lot of consolidation in gold on those bigger time frames. And I just want to be able to catch the biggest move of what's going on throughout the week. So I don't trade gold. I'd never probably will ever take an execution on gold. I've never really been interested in it. It's not something I probably will ever trade. And to me, it's like money is money. So it's like I trade Forex, like your traditional currency pairs, not XAU, USD. That's technically a Forex pair, but I don't trade any like I don't trade any metals at all. Like I don't trade gold, I don't trade silver, platinum, whatever. Um, because they just don't react the way that I want them to when I trade. So not saying you can't trade them, but it's just I would rather trade things that move routinely in the way that I want to see them move. And that's indices and Forex. And so once you get used to trading one thing, it's like you don't need to trade them all. So a long story, but I don't trade gold for a lot of reasons. But I guess my question to everybody who asks that is, why do you guys trade gold? What makes gold so much better than anything else? Or like, why do you care about gold so much? So, because I always get that question like once a week. So, and not any like disrespect to Skippo or anybody that's asked, but I think it's interesting. Like, I don't see the appeal over like gold versus like any other chart. But anyway, so yeah, I just think it's funny that like that specific one is the one that gets asked so much. So um oops. Let's see. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for all of my indices. So I went through NASDAQ, I'm bullish and everything. Reason why I'm switching to indices is because the commission is really high for Forex. Yeah, I mean, so Skippo says the reason I'm skipping the indices or switching to indices is because my commission is really high. And yeah, I mean, that's the one downside about Forex is that this stuff is unregulated. The Forex market is unregulated unless you're going through a US broker. If you're in the US or if you're going through like a regional broker, like whatever country you live in, um, regulated brokers. And most people don't want to trade with them. Most people want to find some type of unregulated broker to trade with because they want the high leverage, because they want to be able to flip $1,000 account into like $50,000 or some shit. So, and that's cool, but you're not going to usually win. Like I can make more money. Personally, I can make more money on a regulated broker or just the same amount of money. It doesn't really change my strategy at all. So, But yeah, no, really, if you're looking at indices, um, you know, that it's definitely, I think it's better. I think it's a safer market depending on where you live too. Like if you live in the United States, it's easier to trade indices, and it's more regulated. You don't have to worry about these brokers shutting down and going places, and all the stuff that's going on in the prop firm industry. Um, so far the indice brokers are more regulated. They are um, I don't want to say they're not going to go anywhere, but they are more stable, it seems like, than the Forex stuff. And I do a lot of prop firm trading. So, I try not to, I try not to, use the Forex ones as of now. That might change, stuff might change. It seems like Forex going through like at least the prop firm side is going through regulatory stuff. But I can't really recommend, trading with those right now. So I think you're making the right decision, especially if you live in the United States. I don't know where you live, Skippo, but that's just me. So I have a couple minutes. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to drop them in. But again, just to review, I'm bullish on S&P. I'd like to see this go out. Again, my daily fail-safe level would be either be this 5,150 or 5,200. And so that's what I want to see take out that high. Again, same thing with NASDAQ. I'm bullish. It's pretty much the same setup. So take your pick if you like those. So we'll see what happens on that. And then again, US30, I'm just staying away from. Not saying that it's not tradable. I mean, ideally, I think it will go higher, but just this consolidation that scares me a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if we went lower before we went higher. Um, I just don't like it, so I'm staying away from it. Okay, Skippo said Jamaica. Okay, cool. Tony, Rockstar Tony, thoughts on US30? That's where I'm at right now. So US30 is the same thing as Dow Jones, right? So again, I'm staying away from Dow Jones. I just don't like the consolidation on the higher time frames right now. I don't like this. Ultimately, I want to be, if you put a gun in my head, I say bullish, right? But I would not be surprised if we dropped down and did something like this before we went back up again. Right now there's just I can call both sides of the trade. Just with the way that I trade and the way that I look at the market, I can make a case for this to continue to go down. I can also make a case for this to go higher. And so when that happens, I usually say I stick away from it. Business Cat says I'm a beginner and struggling to identify liquidity grab zone. Can you give me some tips? Message me on Telegram. I'm gonna drop a link to the Telegram. Find me there. This is the link to the Telegram. And just shoot me a message. I'm the only person that talks in here. Let me drop this link. The name of the chat is Tick Ups. I've been debating changing the name on this for a while, but as of today, it's Tick Ups. So join that chat if you're not already in there. This is a free chat, so this is where I do all my updating analysis. Everybody in here is, did not pay a dime to be in this chat. But yeah, find me in there, and then I'll see if I can answer your question. So okay, so let me go back up here. Indices. Check Bitcoin on the 5-minute time frame. It's in an MMBM, and it's going for price. Let me see. Again, I don't trade Bitcoin much either. I not at all. On the 5-minute time frame. I mean, so I think So this 5 minute time frame is way too small to get a better understanding. I mean, technically, you're kind of worried about the wrong time frame, and I don't know. So I can't really. I don't trade Bitcoin because the problem I have with Bitcoin is that it's a 24-hour market, and I don't know if you're talking about MMBM. We know time and price is a huge thing, and I don't really know the correlating times with this, so I can't really give you like great advice. But and I can't give you a trading advice at all. This is just education purposes. So if I had to call this, man, so I get sick every time I look at Bitcoin because I watched this fall at $3,000. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely bullish on this. If any of my students are on, you guys will probably catch this one too. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, that's beautiful. If we go on the 4 hour, let's go on to the 4 hour. It's really consolidated, but I'm just seeing stuff that's gonna let me to the idea that we're gonna go higher. High is 17. Yeah, it's close enough. So I'm bullish on this. I wouldn't be surprised if we did something like this over the next, I don't know, this is the daily time frame. So over the next few days to a few weeks, would not be surprised if we ran like this. Or maybe as like as high as that, but somewhere in this range. I would not be surprised if that happened. I'm also, yeah, this is pretty bullish. This is bullish. Nassim says, I'm expecting US30 to go higher based on what I see in my other time frame. I'm not saying that US30 will not go higher. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's just not going to give me what I want to see, and for me personally. So like I said, if you put a gun in my head, I'm bullish, right? So like I want to see the price go higher, but I don't see, there's some stuff that I can call both sides of the trade. So like one of the things that like people as traders do, and people never see the losses come until they get stopped out, right? And so a lot of times people look at one side of the market. It's like a psychology phenomenon, right? Like you look at one side of the market and you see your setup and you're like, okay, I see exactly how I'm going to win. And I'm focusing on that entry to that win. But very rarely do people look at the other side of the market and say, okay, how can I lose this trade? And I think all I'm saying here is that I think it's going up. I think it's bullish, right? And it's also correlated with what's going on with the other indices. All these indices move together. So ideally, I want this to be bullish, but I don't know. I can't really call it. It's not the most ideal setup because I can look at this chart and see how we can run lower before we go higher, right? So that's all I'm saying. 100%. Yep. And so you just want to wait for this is the best setup possible or trade something else, right? I mean, like I said, NASDAQ or S&P, they NASDAQ and S&P, also move very similarly, so you might find similar setups on them. US 100 is going to take that low on the H1. So I don't want to get too low into these time frames. I don't low on the H1. I don't know if you're talking, you got to be more specific because I don't know. There's a lot of lows on the H1 chart, but if you're talking about this, I don't know. Or if you're talking about this low, it could run for that low again and then take it and then go higher. That it's very possible. It's very possible. I mean, we could take this. If you're talking about this low on the H1 chart, we could very easily run for this low and then go higher. That's very feasible. I try not to give like exact, like I paint out like a couple scenarios of what I think could happen because one, I don't want to marry myself to like any of these ideas. Like I don't want to be so dead set that the market's gonna run here, take this low, and then go higher. That I just like I focus so much on that. And this is a personal thing. Maybe not everybody struggles with this, but I struggle with this as a trader. So like taking like I focus on one particular setup and I get so caught up on that setup that I fail to see how price could potentially go lower before it goes up, or there's other areas where it could run to. So yeah, that's one. If you're talking about this low right here, then that's one potential area it could run to. And I think that's pretty probable just based on where we're at points wise. It's like 85 points out. But we also could see a deeper run like that. We could see a deeper run like this. I'm not really I don't marry myself to any of these. I just lay out the scenarios in which I think price is going to run for some area. And then I just, trade it when it gets there based on my set criteria of what I want to see in the trade. Yeah, on US 100, it'll take. Yeah, I mean, it's also very close. Like, A says, I'm looking at his comment. He says, yeah, on US 100, it will 100% take that low. I mean, yeah, I mean, the thing is that you got to speak in probabilities, right? So, like, you can't really, like, we don't know what the market's going to do. We could wake up tomorrow and the market could just do this. It could literally gap up all the way up here and then it could keep running, right? Like, you could wake up on Sunday or Monday morning and the market just opens up here, right? So, like, I try to speak in probabilities and I try to wait until my time set, my special times to trade because I don't want to do too much projecting, but overall, I want to see the market pull back. And there's a few levels that I've outlined where I think the market's going to pull back to on, again, NAS100 and NASDAQ are going to be the same thing. So there's a few levels that I want to see this pull back to. Dang, where's it at? Few levels that I want to see this price pull back to and what I want them to do. And I just kind of outline all those potential scenarios and I wait for it to hit one. Usually the market's only going to hit one or two of those levels in a session. So it's not like I have like six things and it's going to keep hitting these levels over and over and over again. So, and I keep entering in. Like I have a specific criteria of things that I want to see happen when it does that. So, Coach Best, this is going to be the last question. Last one I got time for. So, Coach Best said, can you look at USD JPY? This is Forex. Let me go to the weekly time frame. So last time I looked at this was like months ago. I said I had a bullish bias in this. Let me get rid of this. A couple things I don't like. I like the idea of bullishness. There's a couple things that I don't like that are kind of contracting me from that. I don't like that. Daily. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Right now we're in a consolidation state. There's a lot of consolidation going on here. So I would not be surprised. I'm holding a bullish bias on this, but based on the 4 hour, I'd like to see stuff go higher. But I also wouldn't be surprised if we had an extended run again, something like this to go higher. It really just depends. I think so. This is the target that I'd be aiming for if I was trading this. This is my target. I don't like how this has just been a rapid line up. Again, my students will understand why 100%. I'm bullish on this, but I just don't like it because of this consolidation, because I can see a couple of things happening. I could see this. Boom, boom. Which obviously it'll still be bullish, or I could see something like this. I definitely could see something like this where we get pull back to a level like that and then go higher. Overall, I'm bullish, but just this consolidation tells me that we could get a run below here if we're going to continue on with that. I would be watching. I think a lot of people are going to get fucked up on this one. I'd be watching this zone right here. See how the market respects this level. But that's just messy. I don't like that. And ideally, if just at a higher level, if I think the dollar is going to go up, then yen should probably be going up too. Yen is going to move the opposite of euro, and I'm bearish. At least initially bearish. I think on euro, I want to see the market move down a little bit more. So I think we could definitely see this. I definitely think we could see US 100 or US JPY continue to go higher. I just don't like this in the long term. So if it was me trading this, I would still be looking to target this high, and I'd still be looking to be bullish because there's not really a reason for me not to be bullish. But there's a lot of things here that I'm just wary of. I think in the long term, we might see a reversal, but if we're talking like this week, I'm still going to play this to be bullish. Yeah, I'm going to play this to be bullish. So that's just my thoughts. Hugo, my guy. I appreciate the love, and I will be online. In an hour with you guys, with my students. So, do you trade trend lines? No, I don't trade trend lines. I use them to look at stuff, but I don't trade them at all. I think trading trend lines is dumb. Anytime you see a quote unquote trend line on my chart, it's because I'm looking for something specific and I'm not buying a bounce off a trend line. I think that's dumb. What are my thoughts on GU? I don't like where Forex pairs are at. Overarching, they're just in a consolidated state. It's still on a weekly time frame, right? Like this is consolidation. This is weekly consolidation. My students will know, like when we talk about premium discount, this is just at equilibrium. It's been at equilibrium for like a year straight. So I don't like that. It's gonna break out soon though. I'd say like over the next 12 months, you're gonna see a breakout. And I can't call that. In the long term, I can't really call that. So I don't even want to. But in the short term, like in the very, very short term, I want to see this bearish, something like this. I'd like to see this bearish. I'd want to see it kind of take out this low here at 1.25, 1.2657. That's the zone. I'm looking at somewhere between here and here. I want to see the market do something like this. Apologize for all of the mess of my charts. Somewhere between here and here. right? So it could be hit this high, this low, or somewhere in between. So I'm just gonna do this. But that, I mean, I want to see this do something. I want to see this trade to here. And forget everything else you're seeing here. It's a lot of consolidation. Overarching, I don't like Forex pairs right now. They're just not trending. They're not giving me anything. They're trading between a lot of like middle levels. So, I mean, this is a mess. Like this is not just, this has been a year. This is last June, right? So this is a year of price action. It's just been messy. I don't like that. How do you see the markets? What do you mean like that? Like how do I see the markets? Like in terms of like what, you got to be a little more specific. Like how do I see the market? Like how do I trade? Is that what you're asking me? Or like how, like what's my style of trading? Or like, do I see the markets bullish or bearish? Or like what do you mean by that? So appreciate you, man. Naseem. No problem. Again, if you guys are in the Telegram, I do update analysis a lot. So make sure you guys follow along, stay along there. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Let's see. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this. If you guys do have additional questions, sometimes I do make additional videos. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel as well, this is another channel that you guys can subscribe to. And I do a lot of my updated analysis. I also do a lot of my live trading here too. So I've been trying to go live at least 2 or 3 times a week. It is a series that I like to call Pay the Trader. So subscribe there. And if you are subscribed, cool, awesome. Hit the notification bell, all that YouTube stuff, like, right? Hit the notification bell and, let me know, and it'll let you know when I go live. So, man, see, I told you how many times do I get this question, man? I swear, like, I don't understand what it is about gold that like it makes everybody like want to trade. Like I get this question at least 1 or 2 sessions. Top lyrics, it's in this. Watch this recording back again. I talk about gold extensively for a good like 5-minute rant today. So, but I get this question so much, and I don't understand why gold is so popular to people. So yeah. So ideally, again, if you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel, Brinks Trades, I will go live there a couple times a week. You can see that like some of these trading sessions, you can't see. I'll show you. I will show you right now. This is my YouTube channel, right? So again, I'm new to this, right? But this is where we're going. So again, Pay the Trader, right? So this is my series that I have where I go live and I trade at least once or twice a week. $6,000 win here, $1,000 win here. I'm also going to start making sure not all the trading sessions I actually take trades, and this is not really done for like a signal service or signal anything like that. Like I don't give this educational advice, but it's really just me documenting my journey. So in this industry, there's a lot of people that are frauds, right? We know this. There's a lot of people that are scammers. There's a lot of people that come online and they say, hey, I will show you how to trade, buy my course, right? But they really can't trade at all. They're just regurgitating some material that they learned online or something like that. And they're selling it to you for $2, $3, $4, $500,000, $2,000, right? And so I just want to be a light in this industry, and I want to let people know that I can actually do what I say I can do, right? And I think not enough people do that, and not enough people, even if they're showing screenshots, a lot of times they're not showing their process. And so, what I have here with the Pay the Trader series is really just me taking time out to go live, and I don't always go into great detail about my trading, but you can see me execute live. If I win, if I lose, right? And so in May, I had 7,000. I made 7,000 through funded accounts. I started off this month with a loss. The uh, the the fourth, which was 3 days ago. So I started off with two small losses. I think it was like maybe $300 max that I lost. But still, it's just good to document the journey, and you see all of my thought process here. Sometimes I'm talking back. Sometimes I'm talking to you guys, or like I'm, messaging in the chat too. So, it's really just needless to say, it's somebody who's really taking time out of their day to really give you guys a real authentic look at what it is to be a trader, and from someone who's been doing this for a decade plus. So June hopefully is going to be a really good month. But we'll see what happens. And yeah. So if you guys have any questions at all, please let me know. Find me in the chat, the Telegram chat, and then also, again, I do a mentorship for my students. It's not open right now. It's closed. But that will also be something that might maybe open up towards the end of this year, beginning of next year. So, all right, Coach Best said I'm sub 156. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. How do you understand execute? I'm really just looking for liquidity in the market, right? So I don't really see the market as engulfing candlestick patterns, or like, I don't look at the market like that. I used to when I first started trading. I really am just looking for liquidity in the market, right? And I'm acting as a bank, right? And I'm acting as a matchmaker in the market. So what I tell my students all the time, I'm looking for highs, I'm looking for liquidity. I'm looking to understand where my buyers are at, where my sellers are at, and I'm just matching them like a matchmaker, like a bank would, right? So that's all the market is. It's just a platform for people to buy and sell back and forth to each other. So if you understand where your buyers are at, you understand where your sellers are at, then you can be okay. Aoi Ryuk. Are you going to trade CPI? I don't trade CPI. I don't trade any news. I might find setups afterwards, but I'm never physically in a trade when those markets hit. I don't believe in that at all, because you can just get whipsawed around. Sub 156. Appreciate it, man. Gold. Honestly, this is the quote of the day, right? So gold is like that drop dead gorgeous woman you can't keep away from, even though she's cheating on you every day. That is what gold is. And it's it's just the idea of trading gold. People just can't get past it. Like, I don't know, maybe they want to tell people it's like, man, I trade gold. Like, that's what I do. I trade gold. And I don't know what it is, why people are so fascinated with it, but that's exactly what I feel. I feel like the same way. Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I have no idea why people want to trade gold like that, but I love that quote. I might screenshot. I'm screenshotting this quote, and this is gonna definitely go in the Telegram chat. So, Tara G, you just made it into the Telegram chat. Yeah, so that's all I got. So basically, you don't trade high impact news. I don't trade any impact news at all. So I'm never in the market when certain high impact news, CPI, PPI, anytime good old Jerome speaks, I am not trading at all. And NFP, right? Those are the main ones that I stay away from. And then also, if there's any like wartime, or not wartime, but like conflicts and things like that, I try to stay out of the market, or I'm like very, very, very careful right? So there's a whole conflict that was going on in Europe a couple of years ago, and I stay out of the markets for that. Like when that happened, usually you take a good 2 weeks out of the markets, right? So I had a friend that, man, I had a friend that was trading when a certain country had another conflict with a country in Europe. It's still going on. I think they're demonetizing people who are mentioning it, so I don't want to even bring it up. But when they first started that conflict, then he was trading in the market and he lost $20,000 in a day, like that, $20,000 in like an hour, and he was sick. I was sick for him. He was sick. But that was the craziest. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Okay, cool. So yes, if you guys don't have any other questions, if you do, speak now, forever hold your peace. But if not, like I said, I appreciate you guys hopping on with me this week. Tell a friend and tell a friend to come on next week. I'm giving away free, free outlooks on basically where I think the market's gonna go, right? A lot of people pay a lot of money for this, so take advantage. And then subscribe to all. Anytime you see Brinks Trades, that's me. And any social platform, usually you're gonna see the same little cartoon icon that you see, like with the the guy in the jacket, my cartoon version of myself. So if you guys have any questions at all, if you shoot me a message, man. My DMs are usually open, so I usually send a voice note back, so it's me. So appreciate it. Have a good week. Have a good trading week, and go from there. And remember, gold is the drop dead gorgeous woman that you can't get away from, even though she's cheating on you every day. So don't trade gold. Right? There you go. Peace.